To lead the Skol chant and sound the Yaller horn, please welcome the 31st Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard, Major General John Jensen.
Well, hello, this is John Randall, Minnesota Vikings legend, and it is my pleasure to say, Minnesota Vikings fans uncensored, are you ready? Keith, get your people up. Let's go. Skol, 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 baby. Let's go.
Hello, Vikings fans. Welcome to the Let's Skol Show, week 29 of the offseason. I'm Fish. As always, I have with me Mr. Positivity, Cody Bowden. He who greets with smoke the traveling gourmet, Skolful Shack. Tower Captain Keith is in the background doing his captain stuff, getting this thing kicked off. He'll be joining us shortly. But we are 48 days away from the first game of this NFL season. Any Vikings players come to mind when you hear that number? And there seems to be a difference of opinion in the media about our QB situation. We're going to talk about it. Training camp opens up this weekend. What are you looking forward to? My hot take coming true about the quarterback, the QB1 being named. Tonight, we will be Skoling with the Enemy, getting some offseason perspective from the Chicago Bears fans. Joining us will be Rob from the Hallis Huddle and Anthony from Bear Down Daily. So be nice, talk trash, but be nice. We'll go around the Gallahorn with our hot takes, make some purple prophecy predictions, and I played You Got Stumped with Tony. Stay tuned to see how that went. But before all that, let's break this ice. Fellas, if you've been paying attention on YouTube, Randy Moss has a series out called Chasing 10, where he's out in a bass boat with other NFL players, former players. He's actually trying to catch a 10-pound bass and just sharing stories and telling lies while he's doing it. He's got, I think, a three-part, 3 episodes where he's doing it with the other 2 members of 3 Deep, Jake Reed and Chris Carter. And while they're fishing, they're just talking. So, fellas, being the consummate Viking fans that we are, and you in the comments, if you were on that boat with those 3 players, what's a question you'd just be dying to ask them?
I think it'd be a question on the quarterback situation we have here, because we heard earlier this week about what Chris Carter thought and what he's been saying in the past. I want to know what Jake Reed and Randy Moss would say about the quarterback position, who they think the starter is, and then see how that sparks up a conversation or an argument with Chris Carter, because I don't think they're totally off board on JJ McCarthy just yet, even though Chris Carter is.
That's interesting. When you ask that question, automatically I go to start thinking about, what am I going to ask him about the 98 season? But you're asking about, a current perspective, and I would actually like to hear that, especially, 3 of the greatest. Well, Jake Reed's not one of the greatest, but they're one of the greatest cores to play the wide receiver position. So I would like to hear what they have to say about the quarterback position going on, especially, they had, a good year from Randall Cunningham, and they had Culpepper, but they never had, really all-pro quarterbacks. So, I would definitely like to hear their perspective on what's going on right now. Do they feel like you should keep riding with the young guy, or no, it was smart to go out there and get a veteran and, try to bust this thing open. That's a good one, Cody.
What you got, Shaq?
For me, since they're all receivers, I'll ask them their thoughts on how they feel like the NFL loves wide receivers when they make highlight catches and all that. But when it comes down to them getting paid, a lot of people don't like to pay them. So what's your guys' thoughts on making top dollar when fans and the NFL media think you guys aren't that important to the team?
Well, I wonder how they'd answer that, Shaq. So my question would actually have nothing to do with football. My question would be December of 1998. Who's got the least amount of swag? Who's the most embarrassing level of swag between the three of you? And let them duke it out. Let the truth come out. Who are they going to talk trash about? Will it be Moss being some country boy? Had Chris Carter hit that fine-tuned, dapper look that he has now as he's a more seasoned person? What do we even know about Jake Reed? He might have been a straight-up thug on the streets. I don't know. But I'd like to hear them talk about who had the most swag back then.
That would be a good question and I think about Jake Reed. We don't know much about Jake Reed, right? Like, he was just the third guy. I think that's about as far as we know about Jake Reed, that he's the third guy. He had some good seasons before the Moss came over, but he just became that third guy. And it'd be interesting to see his total background and what he does outside of football. Like, we hear about wide receivers, what they're doing outside of football, right? And it's always these extravagant things, or they're complaining to the organization, stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to see what about Jake Reed.
Yeah, I don't know how much swag he would have had. I mean, I know he's from down south. I believe he went to an all-black college, and I think he was really humbled when he first got to the NFL. I didn't really remember it till watching this show, but Jake Reed actually went through a lot of injuries his first couple seasons, where he actually missed chunks of seasons, and every year pretty much thought he was going to get cut. So I don't think he was walking around with too much swag at the time. And then, they go out and draft Randy Moss #1 overall, and you're probably thinking, oh, man, I'm about to get replaced.
So maybe Randy and Jake would have a country boy off.
Maybe
they'd be talking about mud brick roads and dirt in their shorts and all that stuff,
Well, yeah, that would be interesting. I would say it was probably still Randy, though. I think Randy probably had the most swag. Yeah, it might not look like swag today, but in '98, it was probably there.
You think he had a fur-lined coat by December?
I don't think Chris Carter is the type of guy to like dress up to impress. I feel like he's more so just strictly business.
You seen that man in his house in the sweater vest that dude wears?
Dude, Shaq, he is like dressed to a T. That man is cut from like paper mache. He looks good.
He's got a really foul mouth.
Yeah, he does.
If you guys do start watching that Chasing 10, it's the F word every sentence he says. There's the F word every sentence he says. I don't know how he did TV. I'm gonna go with the low hanging fruit here. I'm going with 98. I want to know what that locker room was like after that game. Was it quiet? Were people crying? Were people mad? Was there fights? Did Anderson get put in the toilet? Like, what happened in that locker room after? And then I will kind of want to hear how the offseason was going into 2000. You had just come off this 15-1 season. You should have gone to the Super Bowl, probably should have won the Super Bowl. Like, what was that offseason like? Because it was kind of a letdown year. What was that?
Oven.
Okay. Just making sure.
Until further notice.
But I would definitely want to know what the vibe was in the locker room immediately, and then how that was around the team going into '99.
I bet you could hear a pin drop in that room. It just and the heavy emotion just instantly hits you as you enter the door. Just I don't know if I would want to be part of that room. That's probably painful memories for them. They might start crying on that boat.
So Tommy, what we're talking about is Randy Moss's show Chasing 10, where he's out trying to catch a 10-pound bass, but while doing so, he brings on athletes and has conversations with them. And he's doing a 3-part series with Jake Reed and Chris Carter, and they've done the first 2. And we just kind of asked if we were on that boat, what some questions that we would like to ask them. So that's where we're at right now, Tommy. Trying to catch you up since you did join us a little bit late. You're excused.
And you don't have your TV, so you're watching us on small tech.
One thing I do want to say that was interesting that they did talk about the 98 game in the second episode, and they were talking about like how did they lose that game, and Jake Reed and Randy Moss were quick to say that it wasn't Gary Anderson's fault. Like, yeah, Randy Moss said, we played a 60-minute game, ran this many plays, this many things happened, and you're gonna blame the kicker? Nah. So they stuck up for him. Chris Carter, on the other hand, he said, I couldn't talk to Gary Anderson after that game. So it sounds like he kind of blamed him, but at this same motion, before halftime, I don't know if you guys remember, Fish, you probably do because you just watched it recently, but before halftime, Vikings were up by like 13, and they could have kneeled the ball out with like 40 seconds to go. Instead, they go for a pass on 3rd down. Cunningham gets strip sacked. Falcons get the ball, end up scoring a touchdown. Chris Carter says that he had told Billick that we should go for it, and he took credit for them actually going for it and not running out the clock. And Randy Moss is like, so it's your fault we lost, which I found pretty interesting. He's like, you did what? He's like, I did that because you were on that team, fool.
Like, so that's what I'm talking about. That's that kind of back and forth I want. You're right. I did watch the game fairly recently, and the biggest thing is how our offense just disappeared. I mean, Randall Cunningham was dinking and dunking. It was like 2.5 quarters of him not trying to stretch the field. It was weird, man. I'm looking at this offense like, you got Randy Moss and Chris Carter out there, and you're throwing 5-yard passes.
He sure did, George. He sure did. I remember that. But another thing that was interesting that they talked about, which maybe they shouldn't have talked about when they were talking about Gary Anderson, they're talking about how they kind of had like a players-only meeting, and Gary Anderson had opened up to them. Talk about his wife was messing around on him during that season. And he was like, yeah, it was with some tennis player. This guy's going around and driving my Jaguar. And Jake Reed's like, you need to be worried about him driving your wife.
Hey, yeah.
I was like, okay, this is really behind the scenes stuff. But I don't know. What if he's watching this right now? I was like, I thought that was confidential.
A kicker driving a Jaguar. I mean, our kicker will probably be driving a Maybach soon, but yeah.
But I did find that interesting that Gary Anderson was going through a little bit of that. But I do think that if Randy Moss and Jake Reed say it's not his fault, the fans should accept that, and the man should be exonerated because there were a lot of things that went wrong in that game, and T-Bass is naming them all in there. Especially Robert Griffith dropping the 2 interceptions, especially the last one. And I agree that I don't think the Vikings would have beat the Broncos.
I think it would have been a really good game because Denver was 31st in passing touchdowns given up that year. Good defense still, but they gave a lot of touchdowns. They gave up 28, and the next one was 31.
Yeah, they scored a lot, though. And our defense was about to be broken. Like, didn't John Randall have like a torn knee? He was playing in that
torn ACL. He was playing on one leg.
Yeah, he was playing on one leg and re-injured it during that game. So, yeah, I don't know. So I thought it was interesting. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out on YouTube. Randy Moss Chasing 10. It's really good. It's not just with Vikings. I think he's done it with the Kelsey brothers. I think the most recent one, he was out there with Myles Garrett. Randy Moss is good TV. He's a good talker. I like to see what Randy Moss has grown and become because it kind of looked a little shaky at the beginning of his career. But nah, Randy Moss is really an awesome person.
And I just want to plug one other thing. This is a few years ago, but if you go on YouTube and you type in Randy Remembers, there are these little short, like 8 or 10-minute cartoon videos about him where he tells stories like before his draft where he went down to Dallas and met Deion Sanders. It's good shit. There's only like 4 or 5 of them, but good stuff. Randy is entertainment value. He sure is.
I wonder what's more painful for him, the 98 season or the undefeated Patriots season?
That would be a great question.
You know, I wonder that too.
What was that question 20 minutes ago?
It just popped in my head. Like, what is more painful?
Yeah. Now, I might have to send him a tweet. Yeah. I need that answer, actually.
I need that answer.
That's a really good one. I'm going to say he's going to go with the Vikings just because that was his rookie year, such a special season, historic. You're playing with Tom Brady. You're expected to win. I don't know.
An undefeated season with Tom Brady.
I'm probably trying to purple this up a little bit more than he would. So I don't know. Cody, I wish you didn't ask that question because now I need that answer.
Yeah.
You probably want to see it's not to say this person is no longer active. It's like, did Randy Moss delete his Twitter? No, I just got blocked.
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time a Viking block. I'm gonna tell you that much.
There's a new series out called "You Got Blocked."
Yeah. All right. So let's before we bring on our Bears fans, there is a couple things I did want to go through, and one of them being what Ian Rappaport had to say about the Vikings quarterback competition on the NFL Network's Insiders. Ian Rappaport reported that the Vikings quarterback battle between Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy is extended to last much longer than initially anticipated. What he said was, for the Minnesota Vikings, no doubt, one of the biggest storylines of all training camp, they have their quarterback battle. Is it Kyler Murray? Is it J.J. McCarthy? That is going to be going on throughout camp, through the preseason games, right up to the start of the season. Obviously, this has a wide range of ramifications for the organization, but who ends up being their starter will go a long way in determining just how these Minnesota Vikings end up doing. Whoa. Now, I think we all expected this to be over in the next week or two, but Rap Sheet saying this might linger into like the end of preseason. I'm going to go to you first on this one, Cody, because I know you don't like that.
Oh, I hate this. I just name the starter already because it's in me. It's doing two things, right? Your offense is not going to be ready by week 1 if this lingers out to week 1 at the end of the preseason. 2, you're slowing the development down of J.J. McCarthy also because he's also only getting 50% of the snaps, right? You know, well, what are you trying to do? Bring out the best in him? He already has the best in him right now. You can't teach talent. He's already talented. So what is it going to do? Make him more talented? No, he already has the talent. Right, name the starter a weekend before the first game of preseason, and then give them all the snaps. That's how you're going to get the offense ready to go. You can progress the development of J.J. McCarthy, speed it up a lot more, right? Because you can't take the full reward for saying, "Well, this is my doing of J.J. McCarthy doing well." See how he's doing well through OTAs? No, that's not your doing. That's his coach's doing from the offseason plan before he even entered the OTAs. That's his doing. You can't accept that reward. So, and to me, I don't like what's going on right here. I don't think the offense is going to be hitting on all cylinders come week 1 if it draws out like this. I think we're going to see a bunch of sloppy play, and we could lose to Green Bay with a non-Micah Parsons defense.
Whoa, you watch your mouth. So Fish, are you agreeing with Cody here, or do you think this competition thing could actually end up being a good thing?
There's a certain threshold for that, Keith, and okay. There comes a point in time where you do need to give the 1 snaps to the QB1. So I made a hot take that it would be done, I think, by the 27th, if I'm correct, right? That we would know who the starter is by the 27th because we really need to be able to get into training camp. I think that if we get into preseason without knowing who QB1 is into the preseason games, it's going to stall the first couple of games of whoever that starter is. because they won't have all those snaps in preseason. So, yeah, if we go that far, I think it's a bad thing for us for the short term. But for the long term, it would probably be good.
I don't even want to, because we can't start slow because that gauntlet's coming right after that in week 5 or 6, right? That's when the gauntlet starts for us. We can't walk in.
Maybe we're part of their gauntlet too, Cody.
Yeah.
maybe we're part of their gauntlet. I'm going to quote Dalvin Cook. They got to play us too.
Yeah. Yep. Shaq, do you buy what Ian Rappaport is selling, that this is going to linger on, or do you think we're going to get an answer within these next 2 weeks?
I pretty much think we're gonna have an answer within the next 2 weeks. I think they already know who the starter is, but they're just not telling the media. I'm pretty sure in-house it's Kyler Murray. Just to get the competition going. But just because Kyler Murray's the starter doesn't mean JJ McCarthy's not getting better. Seeing what real quarterback play looks like, because entering this period last all season, who was our quarterback room? We didn't have Carson Wentz yet, so it was JJ McCarthy, Howell, Brosmer. So like, what was JJ McCarthy really competing with? Himself, and he's coming off an injury. So I think it's gonna be Kyler Murray named within. I'll give it to Fish credit within the next 2 weeks, but it's definitely going to be before preseason week 1.
I think it's a good thing that this thing could possibly linger on through the preseason, and they're not just going to go ahead and pick somebody off a couple practices in shorts, and they're not predetermined to go with Kyler Murray just because we went and signed him. They didn't pay him a lot of money. They could cut him right now and lose nothing. They could trade him right now, get something back, and never pay Kyler Murray any money. So I'm glad that it's not predetermined. And the longer this thing goes on, it is the best case scenario for the Vikings, because the best case scenario for the Vikings would be JJ McCarthy is the starter. So as long as there's a competition, that is still a possibility. And that means, like, not just because people want him, to be the quarterback. That means he is showing that he deserves to be the quarterback. They brought in competition for him like was expected, but this was much harder competition than anyone expected or anticipated. So the longer this battle is going on, it's actually saying good things about JJ McCarthy, and everybody should want that to happen, because if Kyler Murray ends up winning quarterback 1, it's only for this season. We're not. If he has a great season, he's going to go pay $50 million. We're not paying him $50 million. Everyone say, oh, do you think they're going to let him walk like the last time Darnold? No, Darnold didn't get $50 million. Kyler Murray will. And the Vikings are not going to pay that, Cody. You can shake your head yes or no, but Nolan Teasley's not coming in here to pay a 30-year-old $50 million.
What?
He's not
literally just saw Sam Darnold walk in the door for his team, so he's not going to do that
for $35 million. And you know what? He wasn't the GM. He was the assistant GM. That wasn't his call.
Oh, he just saw Sam Darnold win him the Super Bowl.
You know what he's seen? He's seen Kyler Murray go 2-9 against him.
Yeah.
You know what? And I'll tell you this: it might even be his decision that this quarterback battle lingers on, because he wants to see what they have in JJ McCarthy. I don't think that the Vikings are going to end up signing Kyler Murray because A, he'll either be too expensive, or B, it didn't work out.
I think you're too low at $50 million. If he has a great season with us, I think he's more like 60. Or that's what he's average.
Yeah. I mean, and you're going to look at the difference. Okay, if he's good, McCarthy's fifth-year option would be 26, and that's just determining if McCarthy's even good, if he gets playing time, right? So what are you going to do, pick up the 26, or are you going to go all in with the proven guy that possibly won you 14 games?
I don't think they're going to go in for $50 million. I don't even think they can. All right. You're smirking over there, Cody, but I mean, is it a hot take to say that the Vikings are not going to pay Kyler Murray $50 million?
Yeah, that's a hot take.
Okay. Then that's your bonus hot take, because I got a different one. The bonus hot take is the Vikings will not sign Kyler Murray to a $50 million contract. Clip that.
I mean, if he wins us 2 playoff games or he takes us an NFC Championship game, it's kind of gonna be hard not to pay him that money.
I mean, they didn't pay Case Keenum, so no, it's not.
I just don't think Nolan Teasley, after seeing Sam Darnold walk into his doors and then win a Super Bowl for him, he ain't going to let that happen for Minnesota again.
Rosemary has not been cut yet. He will be
scary.
No, he'll be practice squad. Why would he be cut? He's a practice squad guy.
Well,
Hold on now. How we know he not part of the competition for QB1?
No, I tell you what he is. He's going to be
because we pay attention.
He's going to be the third quarterback on this team. I'm tell you that, because one of those guys, the loser of the competition, is going to get traded.
So let's look at the other side. There was another article by Charlie Walters, who's a local Minnesota writer, and it's conflicting what Ian Rappaport said. In an article, he said, the only way that J.J. McCarthy becomes this team's starting quarterback is if Kyler Murray flops and a better alternative can't be found. So Charlie Walters is saying not only does Kyler Murray have to flop, but they will make an attempt to go out there and sign somebody else. And if they can't do that, then J.J. McCarthy would be the starter of the Minnesota Vikings this season. What are your thoughts on that perspective?
I think we just found Robbie Nolan's burner account.
I think if that's the case, we're fucked.
So whose story is more believable? That the Vikings really don't even want J.J. McCarthy to be the starting quarterback and that competition's over, or this thing is going to linger on throughout preseason?
The first one, preseason. This is just somebody that's jaded, who feels burnt and feels neglected from last year. He's hurt from last year from J.J. McCarthy playing as poorly as he did. But the first one's a whole lot more rational and believable.
So, Cody, he went on to say that he thinks that right now J.J. McCarthy could probably get the Vikings a 4th-round pick. Would you take that right now, a 4th-round pick for J.J. McCarthy, and name Kyler Murray the starter?
100%. So that's what I'd go with. If Murray is going to be the starter, and that's the guy that you have in your mind right now, you got to get something for J.J. McCarthy. You have to get something, because he's not going to be worth anything, because we're not going to pick up that 5th-year option if Murray stays for the whole season and starts first at QB1. That 5th-year option is not getting picked up.
Okay, on a return on investment, not a chance. Because what's a 4th-round pick going to get us? A starter? Probably not. A role player? Versus, say, the risk of Kyler Murray not being able to play a full season and being able to plug our number 10 overall pick in to actually see if maybe he can ball. If it was a 3rd-rounder, I'd be more likely to maybe jump on it. But as a 4th-rounder, no thanks.
It's like J.J. McCarthy. It feels like his value is like, it's like spoiled milk, right? You're not going to resell spoiled milk and expect to get something big back for it, right? And you're not going to want to keep your spoiled milk in the fridge. So it's either you get something.
Oh, no,
back. So you got to get something back, right? That's
Wait, so
Sam Darnold was spoiled milk. Baker Mayfield was spoiled milk.
That's if he.
So this whole time we could sell spoiled milk. Shit, I didn't know. I'm just throwing it down the drain.
If he plays for us and starts, he's the quarterback 1, right? Then yeah, you finally hit your return on investment, right? Because he's shown that he is more talented than Kyler Murray. The competition to see is all about who's more talented, right? And that's going to be the starter going forward. Right now, I think Murray is a lot more talented than J.J. McCarthy.
Cody, based on the last few years, do you honestly think either of them would play a full season if they started day 1?
No.
Okay.
So why keep?
That's the entire spear point of my argument.
I already know what he's going to say. Can I talk for you, Cody?
Sure.
That's why they have Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
Who, if Cody had his way, would be in this competition for quarterback one.
No, I would not have Carson Wentz in this competition.
I took it too far. I went too far.
Yeah, it's too far.
But wait.
That's too far.
Carson Wentz
There's more.
been injury prone too. They all injury prone.
Except for Brosmer.
When he plays injured, he plays like he's injured. So,
Oh, shit. And we were talking about, Chris Carter earlier being on Randy Moss's show. Chris Carter actually chimed in on the Vikings quarterback situation. He stated, based on the conversations that he's had with internal team sources, McCarthy was primarily drafted because former general manager Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah pushed for him rather than head coach Kevin Connell or the coaching staff. He said, internally, what we hear, and from the people I talked to, he was a general manager's guy. They didn't extend the general manager's contract and fired him after the season. They extended the coach before the season. Carter also said Kevin O'Connell feels no organizational obligation or pressure to place McCarthy simply because he was a 10th overall pick. Kwesi is no longer with the team. O'Connell has total freedom to evaluate the roster without tying himself to the previous GM's draft investments.
Weird.
Speak on it.
I think it was mentioned quite a bit on the show that McCarthy was never KOC's guy. Drake May was the guy KOC wanted. He did not get him. So the Vikings had a force for a quarterback because they lost Kirk Cousins in the offseason, and they went after McCarthy. And that's why you saw the Sam Darnold signing in February or early March before the draft, right? They got, Sam Darnold is my quarterback. That's the quarterback that I got on this team right now. That's going to be the quarterback. Kwesi goes out and gets a rookie quarterback. Smart move, in my opinion, because now you have that kind of battle, right? That kind of battle. But then it was ultimately Sam Darnold as the quarterback one who opened, or later in OTAs became the quarterback one, right? So we've been saying it all the time. It was never KOC's guy. McCarthy was never KOC's guy.
I think we're all on board and understand that Drake May was who KOC wanted. But when that didn't happen, are you going to tell me that KOC wasn't in agreement with taking JJ McCarthy at the spot that they took him?
He had to have a plan B. And let me just say this about this was Kwesi's guy. Okay, so what? There was a time not too long ago where the GM said, all right, here's people I drafted. Do something with them. Coach them. You're the coach. Coach them. I remember famously, this was a while ago, Bill Parcells, when he wanted to be the coach and the GM, he said, well, if I'm a cook, I want to get the ingredients too. But it was very compartmentalized. You have the scouting department. They evaluate the players. And then they get drafted. And now it's okay, buddy. Here's what you got. Win. Do your job. So even if that was true, hey, QB whisperer, whisper. Do something with them.
I agree because KOC said it himself. They call him the QB killer because a lot of QBs that they looked at in the draft, he didn't like. And he said good reasons why he wouldn't fit the so-called offense. So the only other option would have been that Kwesi overruled what KOC was saying about JJ McCarthy. So he had to obviously see something in JJ McCarthy if we took him because we avoided drafting a lot of quarterbacks that KOC didn't like.
Do you guys think it's fair that, KOC, if it's true what Chris Carter's saying, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. But I do have to believe that, someone like Chris Carter does have some connections inside that building. Do you believe it's fair that KOC is pretty much exonerated from whatever happens with JJ McCarthy? Because I do remember someone saying if JJ McCarthy goes, so does the coach. It might not be that way. Is that fair?
That's fair because the general manager already got fired. So,
and KOC has masterfully positioned himself. If he was under Nolan Teasley, there would be risk to it, but he's not. He's parallel to him.
That is
so
true.
he has masterfully positioned himself to escape the blame from it and kind of get another reset. So yeah, he can scapegoat McCarthy if worst case comes to, but that's only for another year or two.
Yeah. So my thing is, would Teasley be asking KOC, do we trust these quarterbacks, or should they start scouting a quarterback in the upcoming draft, or would he just go straight to the Wills? Because I know they said, he reports straight to the Wills, and then Teasley handles all the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have set themselves up with an interesting dynamic, and we'll see how it plays out. I kind of like it, but I could change on a dime.
No,
first play of the game, interception.
Oh my gosh, Teasley! I wish Teasley had the power to fire this man right now.
I just don't get why KOC wasn't fired if JJ McCarthy was his guy or had say in it. Like it to me, that don't make any sense for what I'm looking at it. Like if he wasn't his guy, then that's true. He was never his guy. He's not getting fired. But if he did have some say in it, then why didn't he get fired too? I don't get why. Oh, it's always Quessie's the guy. It's a fallback guy. He fell on the sword. Well, why wasn't it KOC too? Because it was his decision too to draft McCarthy. If that's what we're all thinking, he should have been fired.
Don't y'all just miss the honesty that is Mike Zimmer?
I do. I like Zimmer.
I do too.
I mean, obviously it's soured at the end, and he did it to himself. But I like Zimmer. He probably, I don't know. That's hard for me to say my favorite. I like most of our coaches. I like Dennis Green. I know a lot of people didn't like Dennis Green, and I like Zimmer.
You like Trojans?
For like a year. That wore off pretty quick, man.
I think he was at the TCO recently.
He was. I don't know what he was there for, but he was there.
Give us some ideas on offense.
Another wide receiver kind of chimed in on the Vikings quarterback situation, and that was former Panthers wide receiver Steve Smith. He called Kyler Murray a check down Charlie, saying he's very accurate on passes of 9 yards or less, but noted the Vikings like to do pass plays that are 10 yards or more, and Kyler Murray isn't comfortable there. So, Fish, he feels like in this system, Kyler Murray might not work out.
You don't say. Man, he might change my mind because, as you all know, I was very high on bringing Kyler Murray in, that I thought Kyler Murray was going to be the Messiah that brought us to the promised land. It's not even close. As soon as he started throwing a ball on the field, shit. Let me tell you something. JJ McCarthy, who? Man, come on now. Square peg, round hole.
Yeah, I do think
one more check down.
And the stats do back it up. And the only reason I think that's coming up is because a lot of people lately have been talking about Kyler Murray and his completion percentages, almost 70%. He had to, kind of break it down and say, it's because of all these checkdowns with short passes to the tight ends and bailouts with the running back. He's one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks over the past 3-4 seasons on passes over 10 yards. So I mean that is something to watch. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to sit here and say JJ McCarthy was the most accurate quarterback. So I mean, it's definitely going to be a tough situation. But I just going back to the whole thing of this conversation. I don't know if it's a gimme that Kyler Murray is quarterback one right now.
Somebody better be quarterback one. Time's running out.
So we are going to go ahead and get these Bears fans on and get a little bit of perspective from them. Before we do that, though, I did want to play this week's episode of You Got Stumped. So, Rob and Anthony, I see you in the background. Give us about 5 minutes, and we're going to bring you on.
Or less.
Or less. All right. So, You Got Stumped. This is Minnesota Vikings Trivia. Your host, Michael Fish. And on this episode, he had TB on, who's, been a friend of ours since we first started doing this. And I'm going to let it rip.
Back to another edition of Let's Skols. You Got Stumped. the Minnesota Vikings trivia game. I'm Fish, and today with me I got Tony Bell.
Hey everybody, how you doing? If you're a Viking fan, like we all are, it's been a roller coaster. Even for the younger generation, it's a roller coaster. Well, guess what? I'm one of the old hats. I've been a fan of this team since 1971, and I, like so many, were lucky enough to see them in a Super Bowl. Lived and died with that team. They were the biggest thing in Minnesota. Minnesota sports, it was all about the Minnesota Vikings. And as I've gotten older, still stayed a fan. I scratch my head and wonder sometimes why I do it, but guess what? It's in our blood.
And you've got your own podcast, Tony. Why don't you tell people where to find you at?
Yes, I do. We have our own YouTube channel also. The show that I have is Vintage Vikings. It is also a YouTube channel, Vintage Vikings 00.
So I'm about to play Stumped, a trivia game against a historian, and so far this year my record's not good. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Right. Okay.
You
All
got
right.
stumped.
Oh boy.
All right, here we go, baby. Clue number 1. You're gonna get this one, no problem.
Okay.
This year, we finished second in the NFC Central.
Good Lord. Second. I'm gonna go next clue.
Bud Grant was our head coach.
Oh, what was our head coach? 1970. I take that back. Was it 19? No, because they didn't even have. They had a tournament. Give me the next one.
Okay. We lost in the divisional round of Washington, 21-7.
I was gonna say it. 1982.
1982. Is that your final guess?
That is my final guess. That was the strike shortened season. It was the playoff tournament. We beat Atlanta, our first opponent, at the first ever playoff game at the Metrodome. We beat them 30-24. And the next week we went to Washington. John Riggins ran all over us for 185 yards, and we lost 21-7. 1982. Final answer.
You son of a. It was 1982.
And I was debating because right away when you said second, I was thinking, I was going to say 72, but I was thinking, and I was kind of like, Green Bay won the division that year. But I want to say the Vikings finished maybe third. That's why I paused. But then when the 82 season rolled around, it was done by tournament thing. It wasn't done by division. But if you broke it down by division, we were second to Green Bay.
I got again, everybody. I got again, everybody. Man, thank you for playing with me, Tony.
You got it, brother. You got it.
Damn, Fish.
I feel like I got stumped watching that.
Let me tell y'all something. The next person that plays Stumped with me is going to get crucified.
They're gonna get Tanya.
They're going to get Tanya.
Oh, where's Tommy at? I hope Tommy saw that. That was very good. That was very.
I moved up to Division 1, and it's always rough when you move up to Division 1 from Division 2. And whew.
Yeah, we might have to relegate you for a couple games before we send you back up.
Yeah. Put me on the practice squad.
Yeah, a little practice squad, get some reps in.
Okay, so if anybody wants to play You Got Stumped, please get in contact with us. I'm looking for somebody to play with. It's real simple. I keep it in your fandom. If you tell me, hey, look, I really latched on in 98, like a lot of fans did, I'm not going to ask you about the 85 team. I keep it within your fandom. And, try to make it interesting and all that stuff. Yeah, Tanya's like, yeah, I want to see the next one. Tanya's like, I can't wait to see the next one.
Tanya's like, I would have gotten that one. Like, if you would have switched him around, I think TB would have struggled more with Tanya's than he struggled with that one. Hey, Tanya, you weren't on last week, but we were all defending you. We think Fish went a little bit hard on you because he was 0-2. So I think you caught the brunt of that. But that is you got stumped again. You guys want to come on and do that with Fish? Let us know. Dale, haven't heard from you yet. I think you'd be great for this. But I've had these Bears fans in the background waiting long enough. Let's go ahead and start Skoling with the Enemy. First, we got Rob from the House Huddle.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
What's up, Rob?
I would have been stumped.
I hope so. We got Anthony from Bear Down Daily. So Rob was with us before week 1 last year. That was a lot of fun. So we went and brought him back. Anthony, I saw him on TikTok. Thought he talked a pretty good game. Asked him to join us, and he did. Thank you guys for both being here. It's the off season, trying to come up with content. We have a good time doing this Skol with the Enemy segment during the season. Figured, what are they thinking, right now during the off season? So Anthony, since this is your first time here, why don't you give us a little bit of background on your show or your channel and your background as a Bears fan?
Yeah, got born into being a Bears fan. Some people say that's unfortunate, but I still love it. Just started Bear Down Daily probably 2 months ago now. Just decided, hey, let's just do it. Let's get into it. It's been a blast. I was like, oh man, this is what it feels like to do something you love. So that's been fun. Just been doing a lot of live shows and yeah, like you said, just trying to figure out this content situation with this offseason. July 25th is coming up quick though, so training camp's almost here.
So I know Rob hates the Vikings. What is your feelings about the Vikings? What kind of emotions does that evoke in you when you hear the Minnesota Vikings?
Honestly, I mean, I'm not a fan of any NFC North team, but I give you guys respect. But mainly, I just hate the Packers because I got a buddy that's a Packers fan, and we just go back and forth nonstop.
I think
he's always gotten the best of me.
Common answer.
Yeah.
So Rob, what's it going to be like being the Indiana Bears?
I still don't think it's happening. I don't know. I'm still 60-40. I don't know. There's been no talk lately, and all the talk that we're hearing is just complete nonsense. They're not going to McCook, Illinois, where they're going to fill in a quarry. It's asinine that we're seeing the Chiefs come out with renderings yesterday, and the Bears are still playing second fiddle to every other team in the NFL getting stadiums. I don't know what they're doing, man.
No, do you want them to stay outdoors or do you want them to go indoors?
As a season ticket holder, I actually want them to go indoors. I cannot stand cold games. My wife will not go to cold games. I cannot sell cold games.
So would that change your fandom at all if they were to go to Indiana?
No. I mean, to be honest, it's so close to Chicago. It's closer than the Arlington Heights site. It would take me an extra 20 minutes to get there. I really couldn't care less. I want them to have a stadium where they are going to earn additional revenue so they can put more money into the team in a way that, hiring. I mean, they're doing it now. They did it in with the anticipation of actually having a stadium. That's why they got Ben Johnson and paying $15 million a year. You're going to have better facilities. You're going to have better training staff. You're going to have better everything. And right now they have nothing. They're a mom and pop type team. I want to see them actually become a professional football organization.
What are your thoughts on it, Anthony?
I mean, it's going to be weird. Don't get me wrong. Being, in Illinois for a century, and then all of a sudden talking about Indiana. I'm with Rob. I don't think it's happening. I've called it the Bear Down Daily guarantee. I think it's all smoke in the mirrors. They wanted to try to get something out of Illinois, and Illinois is, smart. They're calling their bluff. But it's just, honestly, I just want it to be over at this point. It's killing me. Everything, like he said, there's this article that comes out saying they're going to McCook. Then I just saw something they're going to the South Side now. It's just, it's just dumb at this point. Kevin Warren just came out and said, though, that all he wants is tax certainty. So he kind of laid down the law there, and we'll see what happens.
Cody, as a Vikings fan, how would you feel if the Bears left Chicago?
I kind of disgraceful to the city of Chicago. You have always been the Chicago Bears. Like, to me, you move out of Chicago, you just lost the whole identity of what the Chicago Bears is. Chicago's a tough city. It's a tough area to be in, especially living in there. If you do live there, moving out to Indiana, it's like you're shifting your focus away from Chicago and the bad things that happen right there. You want a safer environment, whatnot. You just lose focus of what the team is. You're the Chicago Bears. All right, it's always been the Chicago Bears. Moving them out of Chicago, I think, will be detrimental to your team.
Yeah, I don't want to see it happen, but it's just crazy. This is even a conversation, and like you'd almost think that they should bow down to the Bears. Like, what is Chicago Bears?
I'll push back on that a little bit though, because if they go to Hammond, which is the town that's being talked about in Indiana, that is more of a blue collar city than Arlington Heights. You go to Arlington Heights, that's softer. Okay, that's the suburbs. That's not even Chicago. So if you truly are going to pick one of the two and you want to say, tough versus soft, Hammond is actually the better choice.
I'll tell you what my take on it is. I'd be happy for the people that work for the Bears. Because if they go to Indiana, they pay 2% less on their state income tax.
I don't want to see it happen. As a Viking fan, keep them in Chicago. I wouldn't want to see Green Bay move. I mean, and I hate Green Bay. I like our division. I like where they're located. Even though none of us live in Minnesota, I don't want to see your guys' team move. And I remember when I was younger, there was talk about the Vikings moving out here to LA. I was totally against that. I was like, I don't even know if I would still be a Vikings fan if they came out here. So I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. So I could see it being crazy. And the fact, Rob, you said it was 60-40. I'm like, damn, that's 40%. I mean, you really believe it might happen?
I mean, it's a legit. It's not just leverage. I mean, it is a leverage play, but it's not just leverage. I have inside contacts within the political climate of this whole situation. I could talk about this for hours. I won't bore you with it because it's stadium talk, and I'm sure your fans don't want to hear about it. But the state of Illinois fucked up. That's the biggest issue. That's the bigger issue out of the Chicago Bears situation. The state of Illinois screwed this up from the beginning, going all the way back to 2021, going all the way back to when the Cook County assessor raised the taxes before the property taxes should have been raised. I have plenty of content out there. If anyone is that interested in it on your show, go find it. It's out there.
Yeah, go look at the house huddle. He'll give you all the lowdown. So last time we talked, Rob, was before week 1, and we were kind of, asking how you felt about Ben Johnson taking over, but you really hadn't seen him as your coach. How are you feeling after year 1 about Ben Johnson?
Still absolutely love it. It's the first time ever. I said it last year. It was the first time ever that they picked a coach that I actually wanted. It was the number 1 on my list. I am still super excited about it. He's just a hard-nosed, no-nonsense guy. Absolutely love it. It took a little bit. You guys got us that first game. It took us a little bit to get things going here in Chicago, but the arrow is pointing up. And even with a tougher schedule this year, I have no problems feeling excited about it. I just don't.
You happy with the hire after 1 year, Anthony?
Oh, 100%. I mean, last season was just incredible. We haven't had that feeling for a while. I just love the intensity he brought right away. Just from the start of camp, it just showed. Now, the one thing I was happy about is the players actually bought in. With Eberflus, I felt like I wouldn't say his intensity, but just his philosophy. And you could tell not a lot of people bought into that. And him coming in being hard-nosed, I was a little nervous at first. I was like, oh boy, he's coming in. He's kind of being a hard ass, but obviously they bought in, and that's the result you get when they buy in. So I was happy about it, still happy about it. And he's going to be our coach for a long time.
Hey guys, I expound on that a little bit for me. How do you have a innovative and creative offensive-minded coach who's hard-nosed? How does that work? How does he deliver that?
The way that what I'm talking about here is from the start of camp. I mean, the players talked about it. The physicality just in camp alone was, I mean, Kevin Byard talked about it. He's like, I've never had that level of physicality that early on too. In all my years of playing. Now you can argue, is that good for players' health? They didn't really, none of the players really seemed to, care that much because they enjoyed it. But just the physicality that he brought.
For me too, I think it's hard-nosed in the attention to the details, right? It's like he's not letting you just go run amok. Matt Nagy had a really good breakout year in 2018. This is not the same feeling here in Chicago anymore because it's a totally different atmosphere. This guy he literally said, look, the end of the season's done. Whatever happened last year doesn't matter. We are resetting. This is now on to year 2. And it is the situation where we're going to dive into the details. If you don't do it right, I'm going to pull you off the damn field. We're going to have a conversation about it, and you're going to go back out and do it again until you get it right. Like, that's the type of coach mentality that he has. And I think the NFC North has probably the 4 best. I'm not going to say Dan Campbell. I'm not a huge Dan Campbell fan, but 3 of the best coaches in the NFL.
So you might have answered one of my questions there. I did want to ask how you guys feel about Kevin O'Connell because the Vikings fan base is kind of split on him.
You guys are out of your minds. Kevin O'Connell is a top 10 coach in the NFL, easily.
Where's Zoe at? We need Zoe for this.
I'll stand in for Zoe.
Kevin O'Connell is an incredible coach. I mean, look what he did with Sam Darnold, revitalized his career. What are you guys split on, though? What's
his play calling?
A lot of our fans don't like his play calling, and the fact that it's been 4 seasons, doesn't have a playoff win, 0-2 in the playoffs. I'm not on that side. I'm a big KOC fan, but it's a growing crowd that's displeased with KOC. There's a lot of fans that are already calling for him to be fired.
Your biggest issue is JJ McCarthy. I'm sorry. I said that when you guys drafted him.
We're gonna get
our biggest issue is the Wilfs. Thank you, sir.
So I will say, my complaint with KOC is I don't like his run game style. We seem to run the ball enough for the current NFL landscape, but it's when we look at, you can look at the whole NFC North. I feel like we have the worst run game in the whole NFC North. So it's we're not going to win much games like that, even in the playoffs, if we can't really dictate our offense because they're not worried about our run game. And then we have JJ McCarthy, who's still developing, and we don't know what we have in Kyle Murray. So in order for KOC to take that next step, he needs to make sure his offense can rely on the run game or rely on the pass game.
So, Shaq, you brought up that we probably have the worst run game in the NFC North, but do you honestly think that's because of KOC and what he's calling, or do we just have the worst backfield?
Both. He's the one who's decided to have this backfield. We had a choice to sign running backs. We could have signed Kenneth Walker, but yet we're going into the season with Aaron Jones, who's washed up. No offense, he's still got a couple, maybe 1 year left, barely. And then we got Jordan Mason, who hopefully could prove us that he's a top 15 running back.
Can I chime in?
Kenneth Walker, but yeah, go ahead.
So I think my thing is for you guys last year, especially, right, is the run game was because you guys were one dimensional, right? Because as soon as you know that you're going to just take make JJ McCarthy pass, you're going to just put 8 in the box, 7, 8 in the box every single time and take away the run game and then make him pass and you're going to make him pay for it. I mean, Justin Jefferson had 2 touchdowns last year. That is not the Vikings that I'm used to. I mean, it's just not. Yeah, and you guys still won 9 games
season. Exactly. Yeah. And that's the coach. I mean, we've won 13 games, we won 14 games, we won 9 games. We lost our starting quarterback, played with 4 different quarterbacks, and won 7 games. So I get people get frustrated that we haven't won a playoff game, but I really don't know if that's a barometer. You're winning. I don't know what the percent is, but he has the highest winning percentage of any Vikings quarterback. I mean, coach at this point in their career. So, I mean, I'm on board with him. You already kind of spilled the beans of how you feel about JJ McCarthy. So, Anthony, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on the Vikings quarterback situation? JJ McCarthy, Kyler Murray, and it being a competition.
I mean, I think competition for JJ is the absolute best thing you could have done for him. JJ I felt like his position was, he felt like he was good. It was his position to keep. And although he probably had to battle for it, I didn't fully pay attention to it because I wasn't a huge fan of the pick either. But the competition was huge for him. But I think Kyler Murray is you guys' path to success. I mean, Is he a good quarterback? No, I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I think he gives you some type of other dimension to your offense that Rob was talking about. You guys are so one-dimensional. So with you having a quarterback that can escape the pocket and also probably find JJ, Jordan Addison, and Juwan Jennings down the field a lot more consistently than JJ, I think Kyler's your guy.
So he could be our Justin Fields.
Pretty much. I mean, your guys' defense, I think your guys' defense is incredible. I think that's what's going to really lead you guys to success in this upcoming season. And your offense just has to play decent. That's what I truly believe with the Vikings. I think you guys are going to be a super annoying team. I don't think you're going to be like super good this year, if I'm being honest. But I think you're going to be like one of the most annoying teams in the league to play because you're going to be so like sticky on defense and just decent on offense. That's going to keep you in games.
So, Fish, you're going to agree that Kyler Murray is our best chance at winning this season?
Oh, yeah. I'd rather have Carson Wentz than Kyler Murray.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's so crazy to me. You're my friend. That's crazy.
And look, guys, you haven't heard me talk about this, but Kyler Murray's a square peg in a round hole. He don't fit this system. He's not what KOC wants. He's not what KOC expects. He is not a good deep ball thrower. He is not a pocket passer. Read his progressions and let the ball fly. He is a talented, athletic, and innovative quarterback. All three of those things KOC does not like.
He's not afraid to throw it deep, though, right? So if Justin Jefferson's your target, that could lead to something. Remember Kelvin Johnson?
Justin Jefferson was J.J. McCarthy's target last year, and it didn't lead to something.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy didn't fit this offense either.
Yeah. So I'm just saying he is not. I as soon as we signed him, I said, yeah, no, that ain't it. If anybody's coming in hot thinking Kyler Murray's going to make us it, no, he is not.
I was glad you guys signed him, and I'm pretty sure there's like a couple new Black Ops games out there, so you guys are screwed.
See, I think, man, that gets overblown. That gets way overblown, in my opinion.
The best thing about Kyler Murray signing was it was $1.3 billion.
Well, yeah, I don't think the Vikings would have even entertained it if it was like $10 million or more. Like I think it was because it was 1.3. Like, oh, well, this kind of fell into our lap. We'd be dumb not to do it because they were going to bring in competition. Like, no matter
what's your guys' thoughts though on tanking? Because it's a much better 2027 draft class when it comes to the quarterbacks, right? So is that the path for you guys going forward?
The thing is, you don't have to tank. You don't have to tank to have a chance at the quarterbacks in 2027. There's like 6 to 8 of them, in the first round.
Sure, but I mean, we got Justin Fields at 20. I mean, and it still didn't work out, right? Yeah. So like,
if Kyler Murray is our starting quarterback for this whole season, we don't have to worry about tanking.
So my thoughts on tanking is there's a time and place for it. The time for us to tank was 2 years ago. And that JJ, Caleb Williams, Drake May draft, and we fucked up. We won meaningless games, and we dealt the shit. We got dealt the shit hand. So it's basically the same thing. If we tank, we gotta make sure we pick the right quarterback. But if we win meaningless games, and then we say we pick 9th, 10th, who's to say that 3rd or 4th best quarterback is gonna be a top 15, top 20 quarterback in the NFL?
I don't know, guys. I feel it's a little disrespectful. He asked us about tanking.
Yeah.
I don't think we're bad enough to consider tanking. Like, we played with 3 different quarterbacks last year and still almost made the playoffs. We had Max Brosmer who threw more touchdowns to the other team start 2 games and still almost went to the playoffs. Should have swept the Bears if we could have held our lanes on kickoffs. And that would have had us in the race for the division in the final week of the season. I don't think we're a bad enough team to even be talking about tanking.
Yeah.
Could have had Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs.
You're not paying $40
million. If anything, the argument was that last year was the season to tank and not go ahead and win 5 in a row at the end.
I mean, thanks for doing Thieneman.
See, you know what? I didn't want that to come up. That full disclosure, that's what I wanted. When I saw him there at our pick, I was like, here it comes. It's going to happen. Like,
I thought that's who you guys were taking. For sure, I thought that's what you guys were taking.
But it made too much sense. No, let's go ahead and get the defensive tackle, who I'm coming around on. I think Caleb Banks is a beast. I did want him before he broke his foot the second time. So when I heard that name, my heart kind of sank. I was like, really? We're taking a guy who just broke his foot 2 times, and Harrison Smith might retire. We don't have a safe. We had his replacement right there on a platter. Oh, no, the Bears are going to take him. We're going to see him twice every year, and I already kind of know how this movie plays. So, if for nothing else, that's why he's going to be a great. So, congrats on that.
So, guys, here's a question for you about the Bears. Just a general question. What would you say is the singular most important thing that the Bears have to improve this season to get to that next level?
I'll let you go first, Anthony.
I'll do 2, offense and defensive side of the ball. Offensive side of the ball, Caleb has to get his completion percentage up. It's without a doubt his biggest weakness right now, and it kind of scares me because I'm hoping that he can improve on that. I think that's the biggest one. I think Caleb, we were in the playoffs, we won a playoff game, but the fact that we couldn't drive the ball down the field because we had so many 3 and outs, it was kind of just a little worrisome to me. The defensive side of the ball, everybody knows it. It's our pass rush. I think more specifically, it's our run stopping, our defensive line. I think we need a defensive tackle. Personally, I think our defensive ends will be serviceable and pretty decent this year. But defensive tackle, I'm worried about our rush defense.
It's crazy you brought up defensive tackle, because what if we would have went Thieneman? Would you guys have went Caleb Banks?
Yeah, you never know with polls, to be honest with you.
Definitely not Banks. Banks is literally Jervon Dexter 2.0.
I was about to say, don't I got Jervon Dexter?
Yeah, Jervon Dexter. Yeah, I like Dexter.
They're the same player. I mean, they're the same size, is the same type of skill. They're Caleb Banks is a little bit faster off the ball as far as college goes. I mean, you got to see if he can still do it at the pro level, but I don't think they would have went Caleb Banks. They probably wouldn't even have went. They probably actually would have went Kelvin Falk and went defensive end, is my guess. But defensive line, Anthony said it. That's the biggest play, and I do agree with you. I think it's less pass rush, even though that is important. I think it's stopping the run. It was too often. We talked on our podcast over and over and over again. Too often, they were letting up 4, 5, 6 yards on first and second down just in the running game, and you cannot do that. The reason that this team played or was able to do anything last year was takeaways, and they got lucky in that department in certain times, and that's clearly going to regress towards the mean. They led the league in takeaways. It's going to regress towards the mean. You got to be able to stop the run in order to, make your defense get off the field.
I got a question for both of you. All right, I want to bring up some numbers. All right, 661 yards, 652 yards, 713 yards. Right? How big of a blow was it to lose DJ Moore, especially after the playoff games? He had pretty good playoff games. He had 11 receptions for $160 and 2 touchdowns. How big of a blow was it losing him when your starting wide receivers, i.e. those numbers, including Loveland, only combined for 2,026 yards? Is that going to be a problem for you guys coming into next year? Who takes the step up?
If I was going to do one side of the ball, he said defense and offense. Anthony did. If I was going to put a thing on the offense, I don't think it's not necessarily as much on Caleb as it is the wide receivers taking that step, right? Because you are losing DJ Moore. He's a legit pro in this league. You're losing his leadership. You're losing his consistency. I think it's going to be Luther Burden. He's going to be the guy that's going to take over this team. He was a first-round talent. Had he come out to the year prior, he was still a fringe first rounder coming out when he did in 2025. He was dominant in Mizzou the year prior. I think he has the mentality. I think he has that little bit of diva in him. I think he's going to be the guy to take that leap this year. But if he doesn't, you're going to be leaning on Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet and Sam Roush, and you're going to hope that your tight ends can do 13 personnel, and you got to basically find ways to attack defenses without a star. And I do think he's going to be a star. I'm not too concerned about it, and I do think Rome Odunze is good enough to be a wide receiver, 1A. I'm not going to say it's going to be like Higgins and Chase, but that's like my hope, right? That's my hope.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Luther takes over and takes the one role. But I think I'm not out on Rome yet, but this year is going to say a lot to me because we drafted him because he could high point the ball and come down with strong hands. And I have not seen that from him yet. He's got great route running. I love it, but he's not putting it together. Now, don't get me wrong. Injuries also have an effect on that, but he's not doing what he was so good at Washington. So I'm hoping that I could see more of that this year, but we'll see. I'm not too concerned about it, though. Like you said, DJ Moore was great for us, but I was happy with it. We got a second rounder for him. So, the return on him, I think it was the right time to move him, especially with our young guys up and coming. So I'm excited.
I do agree that if you guys were going to move on, that was a pretty good return for what DJ Moore is and his age. So, yeah. Rinaldi wants to know who's the Bears center.
Who's going to win the job?
I think it's Bradbury to start the year because he's going to be able to call plays, call adjustments at the line. But I think Logan Jones mid to late season takes it over.
I think it's Logan Jones from the jump if they give him a true opportunity. But my fear is that Ben Johnson does not trust rookies right away. You saw it last year. Colston Loveland did not do as much the first 5 games. It wasn't until week 6 that he truly came on. Luther Burden, the same thing. Granted, I know he had more people ahead of him that he had to work through. But when I look at the top centers in the NFL, came in as rookies, they started as rookies, they played well, and the fact that you got Joe Thuney right next to you, I think gives you that little bit of leeway to give him the opportunity to take that and just go with it. But if it is Bradbury, look, he was in the Super Bowl last year. So, he's clearly a guy that you can count on enough when this interior of the line played as well as it did last year. I do think they'll take a slight step back because Drew Dahlman, in my opinion, was a top 8 center in the league last year. I think he was great in Atlanta. I think he fit the system very well. And it was a huge blow having him retire because they were not looking to take a center that early in the draft.
Yeah, and I think your best bet is to start Logan Jones and just run with that. If you do end up going with Bradbury, like Anthony said, and then you end up having to replace him, that probably means you had a little bit of a rough patch. If you're switching your center, so you probably lost a couple games. Maybe Caleb's taking too many sacks. So
there's pros and cons to each one. Logan Jones, you start. I want Logan Jones. Logan Jones, you start him. He's gonna have those rookie mistakes. That's just a given. It's gonna happen. So then it's like, okay, what do I care for more? And then he's not gonna really be able to call out things at the line, make adjustments. He will, but not at the level Bradbury will be able to. And then with Bradbury, he's not very great with his run blocking grade. So, and we love to run the rock. So it's like, where's your give and take there? So I'm curious to see what happens in training camp. I want Logan Jones, but I think it's going to be Bradbury.
So Bradbury, that's the one I know. I didn't pay too much attention to the Bears offseason. That's why I got you guys on here. What was the biggest offseason acquisition that you guys made?
Dylan Thieneman.
Okay, non-rookie, non-draft pick. I don't want to hear that name again. I don't want to hear the name again.
I could take this one. Mine was Devin Bush. I think the replacement for Tremaine was absolutely massive. Tremaine Edmonds was not very good against the pass last year. He had flashes. Like if you truly watched the games, it felt like he was kind of a presence. But there were times where, we were kind of getting, beat up there. Devin Bush, I think, ranked 3rd among linebackers last season when it came to rush defense, and then 4th. Those might be flip-flopped, but then 4th amongst linebackers for pass coverage. I think his speed and his versatility, so he's not just heavily on the run or heavily on the pass. His versatility, I think, is going to be massive for our linebackers and our defensive line this year.
So my real answer is Kobe Bryant. I think, he is a player that if you go look at his stats as a corner, it's not as good, right? And he transitioned from corner to safety 2 years ago, and it was a complete flip of his abilities out there and his ability to just wreak havoc. And he's, to me, going to improve the run game in a way that this team struggled. From a secondary standpoint, look, I love Kevin Byard. He is one of my favorite safeties. I loved him when he was in Tennessee. I was one of those people early on in the Twitter days. I was out there pounding the table saying that he was an all-pro type safety. He played great for the Bears last year, but he's also not really the type of guy to just stop the run, right? And I love Jaquan Brisker. He just came out with a great, farewell to the Chicago fans. It was fantastic. I wished that he would have developed into the player I thought he could be, but I think the concussions really slowed that development down. He was a guy that could come into the box and stop you, but he also didn't have the coverage skills, right? Kobe Bryant is a guy who can stop the run, but also can be a cover guy. So I think he's the best pickup that they had. But I do agree with you. Devin Bush is a big upgrade as well.
Do y'all still have Kyle Gordon?
If he's healthy.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Like, he's a really good player, but when he's available.
None of them Washington guys you guys draft over there can stay healthy, huh?
Yeah. So Cody, who's a free agent pickup that the Vikings had that they need to watch out for?
The free agent pickup the Vikings had to watch out for, I think it's going to be our third wide receiver, Juwan Jennings, right? Because he brings in that run blocking ability that we haven't seen from our wide receivers in quite a long time. I think maybe the last really good one was probably Jake Reed, of all the people. So bringing that element into it as a wide receiver, and we want to run off the tackles into that outside scheme zone, kind of like. So bringing him in and passing against the Bears defense, because I know our run game, it's just the efficiency level is there, but I think the Bears can stop running. Can they stop our pass game? And then bring in the element of Kyler Murray, of course, the running the ball. I think it's going to create havoc for the Bears and the rest of the NFL. But Juwan Jennings for sure at that wide receiver 3 spot, because I felt like our wide receiver 3 spot from last year and the years prior were kind of slimmed down, right? It was the main target for JJ McCarthy, if you honestly look at it, like from last year. I think more touchdowns went to our wide receiver 3 than anything else. Now we have a way better wide receiver 3 that I think will push in and give the rest of the NFL havoc.
Yeah, I think Jennings is the obvious answer there. Like you said, probably haven't had a wide receiver 3 as good since Jake Reed. This is the closest that we've had to 3 deep since then. And I'm not calling what we have right now 3 deep, but this is probably the best core that we've had going into a season, which that's what makes this whole quarterback thing that much more important to get it right. Because as a wide receiver, it doesn't matter how good you are still dependent on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we saw it with Justin Jefferson, one of the greatest wide receivers in the game, had a very down season because of the inconsistent quarterback play. So it'd be important they get it right, but we do have the wide receivers to get it done, and Jennings is going to be a big part of that.
And if
Fish, go ahead, Cody.
If Steve Smith wants to say check down Charlie for Kyler Murray, that's fine. I have one of the best slant route runners in the league right now in Juwan Jennings. Run me drags and slants all over the field. What do they call them? 3rd and 1. So I'm good with Juwan Jennings right now. Check down.
Are slants in KOC's playbook?
That's the problem.
Jennings.
That's the problem. They might be in that, they're 15-yard slants.
He could definitely add them. What was the point? What was the point of bringing in Frank Smith? I know he's a run game coordinator, but obviously the Dolphins ran a lot of slants.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, but I mean, KOC is a pretty stubborn guy, and unlike most, that doesn't bug me that much. Like, if you're our coach, like, coach your way. Like, I'm okay with what he does. Like, but he needs to get the players to be able to execute what he wants to do. Fish, what I wanted to ask you is, what are your thoughts on the 2026 Bears?
Well, last year I was pretty stout on saying that they were going to be the problem, right? I saw what they did in the offseason, and I said, yeah, everybody, Lions glazing, and, of course, the Packers looking like old men in their uniforms. I think they're tweaking now, and I mean tweaking in the good sense, where they kind of got it to where they're adjusting that carburetor, so to speak. So they're getting real close to being a perennial problem. like where it won't be just a pop-up season. Then it's like, oh, we're finishing third and fourth in division for 3 years straight. They're getting real close to being a perennial problem. They got a good coach, real good coach, and I have been a fan of Caleb Williams' game. Couple things he's had to work on, and it seems like he's working on them. I hate seeing Caleb Williams drive the ball down the field as a Vikings fan. I think he's lethal doing it. And, yeah, so you won't hear me talk too much trash about the Bears. I respect what they've done last offseason and this one a little too much. I will say this. Y'all are going to get tired of Bradbury real quick. Week 2, you're going to be like, is Logan Jones ready? Because he's going to get lifted.
He will. He'll definitely get lifted. He'll be in Caleb's lap at some point. What about you, Cody? Where do you see the Bears finishing in the North?
This is what's tricky with the Bears finishing in the North. I think the Bears are going to be a good team. I want to see what the Bears do after a first place schedule. Like, I want to see that record after that, because I saw what happened after a 4th place schedule. The Vikings have been there every other year. We either finish 3rd or 4th or 1 or 2. When we play a 1 or 2 schedule, we completely miss the playoffs. When we play a 4th, 3rd place schedule, we win 14 games. So I want to see that now from the Bears. What can they do after finishing first in the division with the 1st place schedule going forward? Because it's the tougher teams, right? A lot more playoff teams from last year that you're going to be going up against. I can see the Bears winning anywhere from 10 to 11 games. That's what I think. I think it's going to be a tight division within our division. And the only thing that has going for us and not for the Bears is who the Bears play this year with that 1st place schedule. So I think that's what knocks you down a game. You guys win 10 games. Maybe we win 10 games. It's going to be super tight. So I just want to see what the Bears can do after a 1st place schedule.
And then you have that last game of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Shaq? What's your opinion on the 2026 Bears? You go ahead and talk to the quarterback if you want.
Pretty much, the only thing stopping Chicago Bears is like Anthony was mentioning, if Caleb Williams somehow figure out how to slow the game down so he don't always have to look like Superman out there, he learns how to, just take what the defense give him, then I could see him being not just the best quarterback in the NFC North, but the best quarterback in the NFL. But it takes time. He can't always look like Superman. He got to always understand when to basically pick your spots. You don't always have to go for the highlight reel throws and try to fit it between 2 defenders like Brett Favre. So just trust the process. I'm pretty sure Ben Johnson's going to figure out how to get a steady offense for Caleb, But as far as where they're going to finish, I see them finishing 2nd because, they still got to play us. And that's how I feel.
Shaq's got the Vikings having the best record in the NFL, by the way. So that's where that's coming from. So he might still be giving you 13, 14 wins with what he just said. So Anthony and Rob, ask you individually. Go with you first, Anthony. How do you have the NFC North shaking up this year? What's your prediction for that?
Oh, man, I've gone back and forth with this so much. I have the Bears personally either at 12-5 or 11-6. But I truly think that it's anybody's race. I mean, I think the NFC North is it is the toughest division. To be honest with you, I think it's a 3-headed race. I think the Vikings are going to either finish I think they're going to finish last, but again, I think I have to see how that quarterback plays. So right now, that's all I have to go off of. But again, I think you guys are going to be so annoying that it's going to be a problem for a lot of teams. So that could change drastically right there as well. Now, but I can't say anything, and I can't confidently say the Vikings are going to do 2nd or 3rd, whatever, until I see how your quarterback shakes out. Like Fish was saying, he hates Kyler. I hate JJ. So if we both hate that player, I don't know what's going to happen.
Who's your 3rd string quarterback?
Carson Wentz.
Brosmer.
Yes.
Hey, don't sleep on Brosmer. We beat the Lions with Brosmer. Don't sleep on him.
Man, so you got us in the cellar. Okay, that's fair. I mean, you have logical reasoning, I guess.
I truly think, though, I truly think, if Kyler can just be decent, you guys have a chance, though, too. Again, I don't think he needs to be great. Like I said before, if he can be decent with that receiving core, I think you guys are scary no matter what. And then add that defense on top of it. Again, I think you guys are going to be sticky and the most annoying team in the NFL this year because nobody knows how to truly rank you guys right now. So it's like, where are they going to go? And we're going to find out.
Probably pretty fair. I mean, we know how to rank us, but that's why we need to do this Skooling with the Enemy segment so we can get some other perspective. Rob, how do you have the NFC North shaking up?
Yeah, so we have not done this part of our offseason content yet, so I have not truly dove into game by game and figuring out where I think the Bears are going to finish. You know, just off the top of my head, I could see them getting 13 wins as a high end, and I could see them more like 10 wins on the low end. I think it's going to be very similar to last year, right? It was 11 wins, 9-9-9. Look, you know, you said at the beginning of the show, you knew where my hatred was. And I know last year I said I did not like the Vikings. I felt like the Vikings fans were the worst out there, even worse than the Packers. That had a lot to do with my upbringing and my closest friend in high school being a dumbass Vikings fan. And when I say dumbass Vikings fan, it was like, no matter what you guys had going on, you guys were always winning everything. And you guys were the best of the best of the best. Sorry, but that's just bullshit. As a Bears fan, I'm very humble because I know how bad our team is most of the time, right? I have to eat crow every year when I think they're going to do well, and they just shit the bed, right? Fuck the Packers. Fuck the Packers. I am so sick of Packers fans because the Bears finally win the division, and online, social media, Packers fans are the absolute worst. The worst, but I love the rivalry that has come about from these two teams because it is one of the most historic rivalries in the NFL. I hate the Packers, so therefore they are going to be at the bottom of the division. I don't care what their record is. 6 wins. 6 wins. 6 wins. I don't care. They suck. Jordan Love, Mike Renner just ranked him top 5 first-round draft pick since like the last 20 years and has Caleb Williams at like 148 out of 191.
Wow.
Kiss my ass, Mike Renner. You were a Packers fan through and through. Screw you. You guys will probably be third. I'm sorry. But it's going to be very close between you and the Vikings, or you and the Lions, and I'm putting the Bears at top. I just have to. Oh, and by the way, this is not a Seahawks shirt. I got to just point this out for anyone who's watching this, maybe not live. This is my son's soccer team.
It's got the colors.
I'm not a bandwagon fan. This is our soccer team.
Okay, guys, now I got to ask you. Why are you both giving the Lions so much credit?
I think they're going to struggle. I really do, but I really like that defense. And I'm a huge Aiden Hutchinson fan. I just think that anytime he's on the field, like, I don't know. I think that defense is going to be a problem, but I do think losing David Montgomery is going to be a big blow to that offense. I don't think he gets enough credit. The guy gets 10 plus touchdowns a year. They're going to struggle. It's going to be really close. Like I said, it's going to be very similar to what we saw last year. I think it's the best division in football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm giving him too much credit, but I mean, losing Ben Johnson last year, I thought Goff was going to take like a little bit of a hit, and he still looked great. He still looked pretty dang good. So I can't, with seeing what I saw last year, I can't just be like, nope, they're done. Contrary to what Rob says, I like Dan Campbell. I think he's a good a team guy, but yeah, that offense is just too scary, and then that defense, like he said, I think they're a very complete team.
I mean, didn't they give up like one of the most points per game last year? So, I mean, they got good players on that defense, but it didn't really work out. Like, that's why their record was what it was. They averaged like top 5 point scoring. So it's like,
they're defensive backs, right?
But they have to score 30 points.
Yeah, they're defensive backs. Then you lose Terrion Arnold, right? Was he the guy who got
gone?
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
Jack is broken up about that one.
So you guys are pretty confident in your feeling yourselves, and you know there's probably a reason to. You guys won the division, won a playoff game, but Boyd did ask this: how do you guys feel about the 6 comeback wins last year? I mean, is that something that can be replicated, or do you think like you're in close games again and it could end up swinging the other way?
I'll jump on this really quick. You guys should know what it means to have comeback wins, right? Wasn't it just 3 seasons ago? You guys,
we do.
one-score games constantly. You guys are in one-score games. I think that's the parody of the NFL. That's the parody of the NFL. If you are not in a game late in the game, you're usually losing, or because there's not very many teams that just dominate game after game after game. And again, when you're playing in this division, you see 6 games every year where it's going to be very, very close. So in my opinion, yes, there were comeback games, but it's not like every game was like the 28-3 type of game or the whatever. I'm blanking on the score now. That was the Atlanta New England Patriots score. It was 28-3 with the Packers, right? And they came back and won that game in the playoffs. So like, look,
in the Super Bowl,
not every game is going to be like that. They were in games in the fourth quarter. They just ended up winning with like 4 minutes left, 2 minutes left, 1 minute left. Like it can't be replicated to that degree. You're not going to see Caleb Williams throwing up prayer balls. And look, even the Rams game, I was at that game, most electric game I have ever been to in my life. By the way, the second most electric game I've ever been to was also against the Rams. That game was a 12 to 6 or 12-9 victory. There wasn't a single touchdown. Goff threw 4 interceptions because it was when Goff was still there. It was a complete defensive battle. It was amazing. This game, though, in the playoffs, like you're not going to see that every single game. You're not going to see the pass to DJ Moore over Nixon, right? So, yes, 6 comebacks does sound like impressive or not realistic maybe, but I don't have any issues or concerns about them being able to win games.
I think the heart of that question came from, like you said, our familiarity with it. When we had that type of a stat, we were frauds. Like the national.
Yeah, we said it.
Was just,
we said it.
Yeah.
That question definitely came from experience, so it's like, but you guys are still kind of showing a lot of confidence going into this season, talking like 13 wins. Like you're not.
Well, I think that comes
about that.
I mean, you got to understand first of all, we've been bad for so long. So when we see some success, it's going to be great. But that also showed that, it wasn't great. Like, was it absolutely like heart pounding every time? Yeah. But it showed that we have the gene to come back and we're never out of it. So I think that's what I took out of it. I wasn't trying to think so negative because it's the NFL. Any win you get, you're going to take it. But if you can come back and show that you can do that, then you feel like you're never out of a game.
That's true, but it's hard to replicate that. So
I hope we don't. I hope we just play a little bit better and have a lead. But
I brought up the first place schedule, right? How do you guys feel about your guys' schedule this year with 8 of your games being against playoff teams from last year, 14 games versus over 500 teams? I think last year you guys went 4-5 versus playoff teams. I want to say maybe I'm off, but you guys were below 500. How do you feel about this year now playing with this amount of playoff teams and all these teams above 500?
Personally, I'm not a strength of schedule guy, if I'm being honest with you. Last year, like you said, we had like one of the hardest schedules in the league last year, and then all of a sudden, things happen throughout the season. Injuries happen. Teams just don't work out how they were, predicted to work out. So I'm not a huge strength of schedule guy. I go week by week and figure that out how it goes. But then all of a sudden, everybody wasn't giving us our props when we started winning last season. And like, oh well, this guy's not in the game. This guy's not here. I'm like, okay, well, at first you guys were like, oh, the Bears are screwed, and then now you're saying we have an easy schedule towards the back half of the season. But I'm okay with it. I mean, you have to beat good teams in order to make it. I don't want to, make the playoffs playing a bunch of easy teams and then just get smoked in the first round. So I'm excited.
We there with you.
We don't know anything about that.
Unless you're the Patriots who got a cakewalk to the playoffs.
Well, that's what happens when you win 4 games the year prior.
Yeah.
So my issue with strength of schedule is you look at it at the beginning of the year and it's based off the previous year, right? Like there's no other stats or any thought process going into it other than that. You look at what the strength schedule is at the end of the year. You look at look, I think we were third. I think Detroit was second. We were third hardest schedule going into 2025. But you look at where we were at the end of the year and we had one of the easiest schedules, right? So it's like, it means literally nothing, right? But my biggest thing is if you look at a first place schedule compared to a last place schedule, there's only 3 games that are different that we're going to play that versus what the Lions are going to play, right? There's only 3 every year. It's not that big of a difference anymore. It's not like what it used to be. Like, I think in like the 80s. And I'm not an old hat, so I can't speak to it as well as TB that was on here for your trivia thing, but it's not that big of a deal. I think it's highly overrated and over talked about, and it's just more off-season content for us to discuss.
Hey, Rob, how many games is the difference between first place and fourth place in the division last year?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So those 3 games are actually very important.
Well,
yeah,
if you win your division games and you don't let a guy get a 60-yard kickoff return, then
could it be a difference maker? Yes, but that doesn't mean that, like, people say it like, oh, they're playing a first place schedule, they're going to win 6 games this year. Like, that's how they talk, right? And that's not what it means.
I don't think you guys.
Keith and I have this discussion every once in a while.
I think you're going to win 10. I think you're 10 games.
Yeah, I don't know, Rob. Now that I know you call us frauds, I think you're only going to win 4 games this year.
But that's the thing about the NFL. That could actually happen. I mean, now that probably means some things that I'm not going to wish on you guys happen, but anything can happen in this league.
The only thing I don't wish on other teams is injuries.
Yeah. Right. And that's what I would say would have to happen for you guys to win 4 games. I'm not going to wish that.
Now, if Justin Jefferson gets the flu before every time the Bears play, I'm okay with that.
That's a fair ask. That's a fair ask.
Just something where some fluids, where it might slow him down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, you guys made JJ McCarthy look good, so I'm just hoping for us.
That wasn't JJ McCarthy, guys. That was 9.
Yeah, you guys created 9.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Well, I'm going to get you guys out of here. I do appreciate you guys jumping on. This was fun. Let's do it again. If you guys ever want some Viking fans on your guys' channel, you can reach out to me and we can make that happen. Before I do get you out of here, want you to go ahead and say, your final thoughts and give me one hot take. It could be about the Vikings, it could be about the Bears, it could be about neither of them, just about the NFL. So, Anthony, final words and give us a hot take.
Appreciate you guys for having me. It was a blast. Really do appreciate it. Rob, nice to meet you. Everybody, thanks for having me. But hot take, I'll do it for the Bears. Everybody's down on Austin Booker, but I think he's going to have a 10-plus sack season. That's my hot take. Everybody's down on it.
You just sniped Rob, it seems like.
Yeah, what the? All right, I got a really hot take. All right. Again, thank you guys for having me on. Second year. Look, I love this. You guys are great. We talk about it all the time. I promote your stuff when I see it. Anthony, great meeting you. I have not run across your content, but I'm going to go subscribe, follow, make sure I check you out. My hot take and I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears because I know the Bears better than I do the Vikings. Their tight end 3, Sam Roush, is going to finish with over 400 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns.
Ooh. That's tight end 3?
Tight end 3?
That's the guy from Stanford that Unk got me on.
Yeah.
It's wide receiver. It's wide receiver 2.
Oh, receiver 2. I want to cuss you out so bad now.
Hey guys, in the offseason with Tommy Kiger and Robbie Nolan, I ran a series called Fishing for Prospects. And we went through the rounds, and Unk brought up Sam Roush, and he got me sold on him. So there he is.
Yeah, so you guys got Roush, you guys got Dylan Tiedemann. Get the hell off my show.
Hey, you guys got Big Citrus, man. I think that was a great pick for you guys in the third round. And I'm a big Jake Golday fan too. I think he's going to be a good middle linebacker in the NFL.
See, that's the thing. We could have had Tiedemann, Citrus, and Golday.
Yeah,
that would have been a great draft, guys.
Yeah, Golden in the third round.
All right, fellas. I'll stay in contact with you guys, and we'll do this again. And like I said, if you guys ever need Viking fans to come on and do this for your guys' channels, we would be more than happy to. But to talk to you guys next time, let's go.
See you.
Nah,
All
I
right.
didn't.
That was awesome.
Mhm.
I felt good. Like, when was the last time that we talked to fans? Like, did we even get any like the last couple of weeks of the season? I think we kind of just stopped doing it. So it's been a while. So
I wonder why.
What was the last one? The Commanders? Was that the last one that we did?
It might have been.
Like, we're gonna lose. No, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. We're gonna suck so much more than you guys are. Yeah, hey Chevy, thank you. Yeah, they were good. Again, we had Rob on last year. He was awesome. He's got a couple partners. They have a great show, the Hallis Huddle. You could check them out on YouTube. You can just give them a subscribe and never watch, but support them at least. Give them a subscribe. And Anthony, he's on TikTok, so you can go check him out. Bears Daily or Bear Down Daily. Check him out. Oh, what's up, really?
Tracted flawed.
Appreciate you checking in. All right. We're almost going to wrap things up here, but I did want to talk about camp a little bit because training camp is kicking off this weekend. The rookies will be reporting on Sunday. The vets report on Tuesday. Obviously, the main topic is going to be the quarterbacks, and it's going to be really interesting at least these next 2 weeks or however long it drags out. But aside from the quarterbacks, what's one thing that you're looking forward to seeing throughout this training camp?
I'm looking forward to seeing two players and how they're managed. Caleb Banks and Christian Darrisaw. How are they managed through this hot days of August and into July, right? What's their workload's going to be like? Because I don't know if they're going to be even ready for the start of the season or if they're going to be ready for preseason. So I like to see that workload. I'd like to see them in with the offense, constantly playing out there, but I do get it how the workload is going to be with the injury history and what they got going on. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is seeing what happened with them.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Those are going to be two big guys in our trenches. They should be day one starters. It's going to be interesting to see because both coming off of injuries, but like they kind of can't baby them. Like they got to get them in there. They have to be ready to go week one. No doubt about it. So yeah, that's definitely interesting. I'm kind of right there with you. I want to see how they handle Caleb Banks. There was talk that he could have done the voluntary workouts. He would have been ready to do that. So if that's the case, I fully expect him to be going 100% starting on Sunday. And then I think they pad up during the middle of the week. I think that the first night practice that everyone talks about, that's the following week. So very interested in that. But I also want to see, where's Tyrion Ingram Dawkins playing? Like where do they have him lining up throughout the reps? Is he doing the outside stuff, or is he playing on the inside? I think just from what we've seen with his physique and where we think his skill set is, he should be on the outside with the depth we need. We still haven't brought anybody in. There's a reason we haven't. So very interested to see what they're doing with Dawkins. And then again, I want to see how Darrisaw and Banks are being handled. What about you, Fish? What are you looking forward to seeing or hearing about?
Pads are on, right?
Midweek.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing pads on. Pads on. How our defensive backs with pads on keep up with our wide receiver core.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. I want to see Jacoby Thomas out there.
Yeah,
that's what I'm interested in seeing. See if he can pull down a couple interceptions, and not because they were terrible passes by our quarterbacks. I want to see him like step in front of one. But yeah, it'd be nice to see how they actually line up our cornerbacks, because we got Pierre in the mix now. So are you putting him on the outside? Is Murphy, playing more in the slot where he should be? That's going to be interesting to see. Brev, man, you missed our SKOLing with the Enemy. We had Bears fans on for like the last hour. It was actually pretty awesome. So you missed that one. You might have to watch that one back. Shaq, what are you looking forward to seeing or hearing about in training camp?
Pretty much, I'm looking at the trenches. I do officials gonna go with this one, but since the pads are coming on, I need to see how Blake Brandel handles Big Centris or Caleb Banks, because I still don't trust him being our starting center. And since he got experience over them, I want to see our offensive line manhandle that D line. because at the end of the day, our old line is going to have to protect whoever our starting quarterback is. Because if one of our quarterbacks go down, then we might as well start talking 2027 NFL draft.
We're in the twilight zone. All y'all are talking trenches, and I'm like defensive backs.
It happens. It happens. I think you're just satisfied that we got trenches, Fish. Like, all right, I can move on.
I'm ultimately confident in what we got going on in the trenches.
Rinaldi's interested to see how they line up Gold Day. So kind of like me with Terry Ingram Dawkins, he wants to see how Gold Day is going to be used. Is he going to be used kind of like Van Ginkel, or is he going to be used like Eric Wilson? And what's interesting is we all assume that Eric Wilson is going to be the starting linebacker because of what he did last year for this team. But we also have to remember we have a new GM, and all bets are off with what happened last year. Gold Day probably has a better chance of starting than he did a couple months ago. So be interested to see how that plays out. Or are they going to try to put him on the edge? They did talk about Dylan Thieneman, and they were right to do so. They were right to do so. Yeah, no. There's definitely some interesting stuff. I know the quarterback stuff's going to take over. Part of me just kind of wants it to be over just so we can hear and see other stuff. But again, I feel the longer it goes on, the better it is for JJ McCarthy. Oh, Fish did not hesitate. All right, Fish, let's hear that Gallahorn.
Tom Pelissero was recently released by ESPN this week, and it was his coverage of our QB competition that put the target on his back.
Ooh. Okay. I might be lost here. Give me a little background on that.
He was the first one to be like, it's not even close. It's all Kyler Murray. He jumped the gun, got it kicked off, got all the Vikings media going with the same thing. And he was wrong. Very wrong.
Okay, from that perspective, that's an interesting take, Fish. I think I could get behind it if they didn't fire everybody. Not named Pat McAfee.
I know, but see, it's what made them go, okay, we can let him go because he's stupid. You know, when they were looking at the whole pool of people, they were like, who's stupid and who's not stupid? Okay, stupid ones are going in the first wave. He's stupid.
Maybe. Do you think he needs a job?
I'm just saying, no way, man. I don't want to do with him.
Well, I mean, you guys could go back and forth. We can get him. We can get Ruseni.
Why would I want that noob trying to argue with me?
Fair point.
Content.
Yeah. You got one, Cody?
I got one cooking, but I'm not ready yet for mine.
Well, I got one. Sort of. Not really. Hot take. You are going to want to check out Vocal Vike tomorrow, because tomorrow on Vocal Vike, you will also have Let's Skol. We will be joining Rap tomorrow on his show to do a little collaboration. So be sure to check that out. It'll be at 8:30 Eastern, and it'll go till we ain't got nothing else to say. So I know we got a lot of people in the audience that also watch Rap Show. We'll be doing our thing together tomorrow.
I got one now. It's a pretty hot take, I would say. When we drafted Damon Claiborne, I was super happy about it, right? And then I realized he was a 6th-round pick, and he might not even make this team. I'm going to flip on this, and I'm going to say he's going to push Aaron Jones for the starting spot in our roster come week 1.
I don't know, man.
There's so much talks on him right now from inside the OTAs that he's putting on a show at OTAs and that he's looking really good. And I'm not the first one to say this either. I know there was some people at Vikes Verified, Vikers Insiders. They're all like, yeah, Damon Claiborne could push Aaron Jones just from what the talks the coaches are saying about him.
So what, you seen 8 to 10 touches week 1?
8 to 10, yeah. 8 to 10, and then the rest of the 10 will go to Aaron Jones and Mason. No, I don't. I just think I think he's definitely going to see work in week 1. I had him off the team because he was a 6th-round pick. I think he makes this team, and he makes that initial week 1 where he is playing for snaps. He's actually getting legitimate snaps, and he's pushing Aaron Jones for that starting spot.
Bob. I think no doubt he makes his team. There's never a doubt in my mind about that. Pushing for RB1, I think that's kind of pushing it. I think he'll always be, kind of a situational type running back, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think he could be good. Like I said, 8 to 10 touches a game, and he's the type of player that anytime he touches the ball, it could go. So,
and for the record, I would take a 4th-round pick for Aaron Jones.
Me too. I would too.
I think everybody would.
Yeah.
All 32 teams.
I bet Pelissero will sign with somebody. Yeah. Yeah, Pelissero's definitely gonna get a job like soon. Like he probably already has offers, but he's probably, you know what? This part of the NFL season sucks anyway, so I'm gonna take my time. I would take a 7th-round pick for Aaron Jones. Right? That might be where I stop.
I'll take a
Rick Spielman.
Yeah, the Rick Spielman pick. I don't know. I don't know if I'd take a 7th for Jones. Jones isn't terrible. Nah, I wouldn't take a 7th. I wouldn't take a 7th. There's a little bit of respect on them. Shaq, you got one?
Yeah, I kind of got one. I'm gonna see how it rolls off. Pretty much, I believe that Kyle Murray's not gonna play the full season, but when JJ McCarthy comes in, I say he's gonna probably play like 4 games for us in the regular season, and he's gonna be 4-0 whenever he comes in to play those regular season games.
That's a hell of a prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, to get to 14 wins,
you see the vision, Fish. I gotta keep up with the narrative. Somebody gotta win these games. Kyle Murray's not gonna be able to play all these games for us. So, and then on top of that, I feel like we might have to see JJ McCarthy, see what he can do in the playoffs when we make it.
Wouldn't that be something? See JJ McCarthy in the playoffs this year after everything that's gone down, all the talk, everything that's been said, and JJ McCarthy is out there leading our team to the playoffs like Brev has been saying is going to happen.
It's pretty hot.
Well, I think we're going to already be in playoff contention. I just think he's going to be the starting quarterback for a playoff game.
Not for the Minnesota.
Jones injury prone. Desmond will be running the show by midseason. Now, you know what? I could see that. I could see that.
There's a lot of talks on him right now. Like he's pushing. So I'm excited to see what's going on.
Who has a better chance? Who has a better chance to start week 1? Is it Damon Claiborne or Charles Demings?
That's a good question. I think right now that's a good question.
I'll say Demons only because there's more cornerbacks on the field. So
I mean that's logical, especially if I'm not even gonna say I don't like to speak stuff in existence. And I was baiting Brev there and he didn't take it, so whatever. Brev didn't take it. Schoolmaster Vikings. Hot take. If Kyler Murray doesn't show by the end that he can pass downfield, he'll be traded by the trade deadline. Okay, if Kyler Murray doesn't show by the bye that he can pass downfield, he will be traded by the deadline. KLC will not tolerate Captain Checkdown 2.0.
And Carson Wentz will be your starting quarterback by the bye because JJ McCarthy will already been traded.
God. Wow. So Cody's hot take, without saying it, is that Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy will be traded, and Carson Wentz will lead the Vikings to their first Super Bowl. Whoa!
No. Carson Wentz will not. The season's over. The season's over by the bye week if we're trading Murray after trading McCarthy, or vice versa. If it goes vice versa, right? So Season's over by the bye week. It's like that.
If the Vikings don't win at home versus Green Bay, we should abort and go to the other QB immediately. Woohoo! That's pretty hot. That's pretty hot. Week
Like, what if
1
they
is
both-
a playoff game.
What if they both suck? Like,
That's why you got 3.
yeah.
Then you go to the third one.
Third one.
4?
I don't know if you have 4 there game day, but you might bring him up week 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you guys are watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Even if you're never going to come back, just hit the subscribe button. Helps us. Doesn't hurt you. Doesn't cost you anything. Hit the subscribe. Hit that like. We've been doing this for 2 hours in July. Sweating here in my garage in Southern California. Hook us up with a subscribe. We appreciate it. With that, let's go ahead and get to these purple prophecies and make our predictions. Who's ready? Oh, Keith, you go for it, Keith. I'm going to say this. By our next show on Thursday, Brian O'Neill will have a contract extension.
That's good. We don't want him holding in now.
Really flawed. I don't know, but I should probably check that out. I don't know what the actual temperature is in here, but it's hot. That's why I'm ending this thing.
His back sweat is crawled up halfway up his back.
All right, Fish, what do you got?
On tomorrow night's edition of Vocal Vikes, Michael Fish is going to confront Rap for not answering his damn phone about doing a You Got Stumped with him this week. Heavy.
That's a good one. What's your real one? Because
Is it?
that's going to happen. You don't get to make that prediction. That's going to happen.
What, just because it involves me? This ain't gambling.
I mean, it kind of is. I
Okay,
track
you
all
want me
these,
to
and
make a prediction?
I track all these. I keep our winning percentages and all that. It's kind of like gambling.
Well, man,
It's heavy.
Can I give myself a soft dub
Congratulations.
once?
No.
All right. Diego Pavia will be signed to another NFL team's practice squad before the end of next week.
What was that?
Pavia will be signed to another NFL team's practice squad by the end of next week.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably true, but that's a good one. That passes.
I
What do you
think
got, Cody?
I think Diego Pavia signs with the Blue Bombers because they own the rights to him. They own his exclusive rights, so he's going there. I think. My prediction. All right, my prediction is going to be. We will hear more positive things through training camp about Murray than what we did during OTAs.
It's be hard to
Don't stop believing.
That's a we'll know it when we see it type thing.
We'll know it when we see it. When you don't hear he threw 4 interceptions in an OTA.
Interesting. Diego is a CFL player, so somebody agrees with you, Cody. But
Yeah.
Tommy says Ravens cut him too early.
He cut him 5'9" too early.
Ooh, Brev coming with the hot fire.
Oh,
Cody and I will start 5-0 in MUT squads in Madden 27.
we will win a Super Bowl in the very first playthrough.
Not if you play against me and Shaq. No,
We
Cody.
won a Super Bowl.
Hey, Cody.
What?
Shut your mouth.
Oh, I won't say that. I won't say the score. By the first half.
Not very good at Madden. Just enjoy playing. All right, Shaq, what do you got?
My prophecy is the Minnesota Vikings will be a top 5 rushing team next year.
By yards or by carries?
By yards.
Okay. Might have to go back in
That's
the
actually
archives.
smoking hot.
I might have to go back in the archives and see if that one had already been made by you.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
Don't worry. By the time you figure that out, I'll come up with a new one.
Damn, Fish. Fish, look at this hot one by Rinaldi. My prediction is there will be reports that Murray isn't picking up the offense.
I don't know, man. What are you smoking, Rinaldi? What are you smoking to be saying stuff like that?
He's smoking that local Rinaldi stash.
Hey, so Shaq, Jay Vikings kind of agrees with you. Vikings will run the ball more than pass in 2026 because Kyler will run a lot.
Hey, as long as we top 5, that's all that matters.
He's a good guy to back, Skullmaster. And happy belated birthday, Rinaldi. We did shout out your birthday last week when you were out partying it up and not hanging out with us, but happy belated, happy retirement. And that's gonna be our show. Again, we will be on Vocal Vike tomorrow, talking with Rap, talking Vikings, anything else that comes up. It's gonna be a Let's Skol and Chill with Vocal Vike. So be sure to tune into that. It'll be at 8:30 p.m. I think this is the first time that all 4 of us will be on together with Rap. We've been on his show individually, all of us. This is the first time all 4 of us will be on there with him. What do you got for Shaq? Final words.
Final words, like Keith was saying, thanks for everybody tuning in to another episode of Let's Go Podcast. So we're trying to reach a goal of 1,000 subs before week 1. We're probably not going to make it, but if we could get at least 12 subs every week, then we'll reach our goal of 1,000 before week 1. So we're going to keep pushing that subscribe button because, the more subscribers we have, we can get more Vikings content to all the masses, and we're just trying to grow the show. Get more Vikings content for you guys because you never know. There could be somebody watching these trash ass takes on CBS or ESPN, and the national media don't like the Vikings, but get real Vikings media from real Vikings fans. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and tune in. Also, if you're feeling generous, you can send donations to the Let's Go podcast on Cash App, $ Let's Go, or by clicking the $ sign on YouTube and sending donations that way. You don't have to, but we greatly appreciate any donations that way. That's all I got.
Cody, what do you got?
Hey, thanks for listening to us again. Just like Shaq said, like and subscribe on the show. We're trying to push for 1,000. We finally hit the 900. We're moving on up. I mean, just to think about this, we started this and after the 22 season, and look how it's climbed. And it's very special, especially being around you guys. And you guys watching us and listening to us. And with that being said, hey, you guys do it, we can do it also. So if you're going through some sort of tough time, anything like that, hit one of us up. We will listen to y'all because you guys listen to us. Other than that, it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Weekend's going to start. Have a plan. Be safe. And always let's go.
Let's go. Michael Fish.
For Vikings fans, by Vikings fans. And what I mean by that is like Shaq said, if you want to listen to narrative, get over to those national helicopter view people who act like they know what they're talking about. If you want knowledge, listen to Cody and Shaq and Keith. If you want to just feel entertained, then maybe you might hear something come out of my mouth. To 20 more years, fellas. The guys were great from the Bears fans today. And we appreciate every single one of you that tunes in to us. So many of you watch us, try to do our thing every week and support us. And we can't say how much we appreciate you all enough. Let's go.
Let's go. Yes. Thank you to our Bears fans. Next week, we are trying to get some Packer fans on here and get their perspective, only because we're obligated to do so because we're doing the whole division. So we got to go ahead and get that out of the way. But last year when we did it, we had some pretty good Packer fans on here, and it was a good show. So I expect it to be the same again next week. Again, we'll be on Vocal Vike tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Thank you to everybody in the comments. Appreciate your comments and your positivity. We're just trying to be entertaining for you guys, during this offseason, just trying to get back into football. And we are only 48 days away for some real football. 48, 4-8, 4th and 8, 4th and 8, check down. We're only Kirk Cousins days away from some real actual football. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Vocal Vike. Until then, let's Skol.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Vikings.